Ribol. Okay, now we can start reading session. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swaparantikam. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrijatam Sagana Raghunatanvidam Dam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitamscha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीन बंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्याय देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासारि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. Okay, so today we continue from text number 23. Please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Krishna Prabhupada. Okay, Haribol, I can read the first one, and after that, anyone can continue. Yotsyamanam aveksheham ya etetra samagata dhartarasтрasya durbuddher yuddhe priya chikirshava. Yotsyamanam, those who will be fighting. Avekshe, let me see. Aham, I. Ye, who. Ete, those. Atra, here. Samagataha, assembled. Dhartarastrasya, the son of Dhritarashtra. Durbuddhe, evil-minded. Yuddhe, in the fight. Priya, well. Chikirshabaha, wishing. Translation. Let me see those who have come here to fight, wishing to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra. Purport. It was an open secret that Duryodhana wanted to usurp the kingdom of the Pandavas by evil plans in collaboration with his father Dhritarashtra. Therefore, all persons who had joined the side of Duryodhana must have been birds of the same feather. Arjuna wanted to see them in the battlefield before the fight was begun, just to learn who they were, but he had no intention of proposing peace negotiations with them. It was also a fact that he wanted to see them to make an estimate of the strength which he had to face, although he was quite confident of victory because Krishna was sitting by his side. Okay, Haribol, who wants to read text number 24?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Sanjay Vacha Evam Yukto Rishikesho Gudakesh na Bharata Senyor Bhayor Madhye Staphaitva Rathatmamam. Sanjaya Sanjay Uvacha said Evam, thus Ukta addressed Rishikesha Lord Krishna Gudakeshna by Arjun, Bharata, O descendant of Bharata, Senneha of armies, Ubhaya of both, Madhya in the midst of, Satyapaitva by placing, Rutta Rathottamam, the finest chariot. Sanjay said, O descendant of Bharata, being thus addressed by Arjun, Lord Krishna drew a fine chariot in the midst of the armies of both parties. Purport. In this verse, Arjun is referred to as a Gudakesha. Guda means sleep, and one who conquers sleep is called Gudakesha. Sleep also means ignorance. So Arjun conquered both sleep and ignorance because of his friendship with Krishna. As a great devotee of Krishna, he could not forget Krishna even for a moment, because that is the nature of a devotee, either in walking or in sleep. A devotee of the Lord can never be free from thinking of Krishna name, form, quality, and pastime. Thus, a devotee of Krishna can conquer both sleep and ignorance simply by thinking of Krishna constantly. This is called Krishna consciousness or samadhi. As a Rishikesha, or the director of the senses and mind of every living entity, Krishna could understand Arjun's purpose in placing the chariot in the midst of the armies. Thus he did so and spoke as follows.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Who wants to continue?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please skip me and with all good Srila Prabhu.
Just la Prabhupada. Yes, Prabhu.
भीष्म द्रोण प्रमुखता सर्वेषां च महितिसिक्तम् उवाच पार्थ पश्यन्तं संवेदन् कुरुन् इति. Bhishma, the grandfather, Bhishma, Drona, the teacher, Drona, Parumukhatha, in the front of Sarvesham, also Mahitistam, chiefs of the world, Uvacha, said, Partha, O Partha, son of Partha, Pasya, just behold, Itan, all of them, Samvetan, assembled, Kurun, all the members of the Kuru dynasty. It is those translation. In the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all other chieftains of the world, Rishikesha, the Lord, said just behind Partha, all the Kurus who are assembled here. Purport: He has the supreme soul of all living entities. Lord Krishna could understand what was going on in the mind of Arjuna. The use of the word Rishikesha in this connection indicates that he knew everything, and the word Partha, or the son of Kunti, or Partha, is also similarly significant in reference to Arjuna. As a friend, he wanted to inform Arjuna that because Arjuna was the son of Partha, the sister of his own father Vasudeva, he had agreed to be the charioteer of Arjuna. Now, what did Krishna mean when he told Arjuna to behold the Kurus? Did Arjuna want to stop there and not fight? Krishna never accepted such things from the son of his aunt Partha. The mind of Arjuna was thus predicated by the Lord in friendly joking. Next verse, who want to read?
Hare Krishna. Does someone else want to read
Hare
also?
Krishna.
Thank you so
Hare
much,
Krishna,
Prabhu.
Prabhuji. I am continuing.
Yes, Prabhu.
तत्र पश्चात् स्थितं पार्थ पित्र अथ पितामहान् आचार्य उत्तलान् भारत पुत्रान् पौत्रान् सखीं तथा सभासुरान् सुहृदाश्चैव सेनायोरुभयोरपि. Tatra, there, opposite he could see, Sthitan, standing, Partha, Arjun, Pitri, fathers, Atho, also, Pitamahan, grandfathers, Acharya, teachers, Mautulan, maternal uncles, Bharator, brothers, Putran, sons, Pautran, grandsons, Sokhan, friends, Totha, two Sasuran, fathers-in-law, Surida, well-wishers, Cho, also Evo, is certainly, scenario of the armies of both parties, OP including their translation. There Arjun could see within the midst of the army of both parties his father's grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, and also his father-in-law and well-wishers all present there. Purport. On the battlefield, Arjuna could see all kinds of relatives. He could see persons like Bhurishrava, who were his father's contemporaries, grandfather Bhishma and Somadatta, teacher like Dronacharya and Kripacharya, maternal uncle like Sollo and Shokuni, brother like Duryodhan, sons like Lakshmana, friends like Aswathama, well-wishers like Pitavarma, etc. He could see also the armies which contained many of his friends. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Tan samikshya sa kaunteya sarvan bandhun avashtitan kripaya paraya vishto vishidan idam abravit. Tan, all of them, Samiksha, after seeing Saha, he, Kaunteyaha, the son of Kunti, Sarvan, all kinds of Pandun, relatives, Avashtitan, situated, Kripaya, by compassion, Paraya, of a high grade, Avishtaha, overwhelmed by, Vishidan, while lamenting, Idam, thus Apravit, spoke. Translation. When the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus. Caribol Huster.
Yes, Samidru. Arjun Vacha Drishtavemam Swajanam Krishna Yuyutsam Samupashitam Sudanti Mama Gatrani Mukham cha Priyo Shushyati. Arjuna Arjun Vacha said Drishtva, after seeing Imam all these Swajanam kinsmen Krishna, O Krishna, Yutsam, all in fighting spirit, Samu, Pashitam, all present, Siddhanti, quiring Mama, my Gatrani, limbs of the body, Mukham, mouth, Cha also, Parishushati, drying up. Arjun said, my dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relative present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. But any man who has genuine devotion of the Lord has all the good qualities which are found in godly person or in the demigods. Whereas the non-devotee, however advanced he may be in material qualification by education and culture, lack in godly qualities. As such as Arjun, just after seeing his kinsmen, friends and relatives on the battlefield, was at once overwhelmed by compassion of them who had so decided to fight amongst themselves. As far as his soldiers were concerned, he was sympathetic from the beginning, but he felt compassion even from the soldier of the opposite. Observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the party foreseeing their imminent death and so thinking the limbs of the body began to cu- quiver, quiver and his mouth become dry. He was more or less astonished to see their fighting spirit. Practically, the whole community, all blood relatives of Arjuna had to come to fight with him. This overwhelmed a kind of devotee like Arjuna, although it is not mentioned here, still one can easily imagine that not only were Arjun's bodily limbs squaring and his mouth drying up, but that he was also crying out of compassion. Such a symptoms in Arjun were not due to weakness, but to his softness and the characteristics of a pure devotee of the Lord. It is said, therefore, यजस सती भक्तिर भगवते अंकिंचन सर्वगुणास तत्र संसतः सुना हरवा आख्यायस्त कुतो महद्गुण मनोरथेनस्ति धवता दही. One who has unflinching devotion for the personality of Godhead has all the good qualities of the demigods, but one one who is not a devotee of the Lord has only material qualifications that are of little value. This is because he is hovering on the mental plane and is certain to be attracted by the clearing material energy.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. विपत्तुश्च शरीर में रोमहर्षश्च जय जयते गण्डीवं स सर्मस्ते हस्ततत्त्वचैव परिज्यते विपथुत trembling of the body cha also sharire on the body may I roma harsah standing of hair on end cha also jayate is taking place gandivam the bow of Arjuna sarm samaste is slipping hastat hastat from the hands tatvak skin cha also eva certainly parijyate burning. Translation: my whole body is trembling and my hair is standing on the end. My bow gandiva is slipping from my hand and my skin is burning. Purport from Sri Yukteswar Swami Srila Prabhupada. There are two kinds of trembling of the body and two kinds of standing of hair on end. Such phenomena occur neither in great spiritual ecstasy or out of great fear under material conditions. There is no fear in transcendental realization. Arjuna's symptoms in this situation are out of material fear, namely loss of life. This is evident from other symptoms also. He became so impatient that his famous Bogandiva was slipping from his hands, and because his heart was burning within him, he was feeling a burning sensation of the sky. All these are due to a material conception of life.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay, who's next? Okay, Hare Krishna. I can also read. Nacha shakup nacha shaknum avastatum bratmati vacha me manaha nimittani cha pasyami viparitani keshava na nor cha also shaknomi am I able avastatum to say br bra brahmati. Oh, these are hard words. Forgetting iva as cha and me my manaha mind nimittani causes cha also pashyami I foresee viparitani just opposite keshava O killer of the demon Keshi Krishna. Translation: I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself, and my mind is reeling. I foresee only evil, O killer of the Keshi demon. Purport: due to his impatience, Arjuna was unable to stay on the battlefield, and he was forgetting himself on account of the weakness of his mind. Excessive attachment for material things puts a man in a bewildering condition of existence. Bhayam dvitiya biniveshataha. By fearfulness and loss of mental equilibrium take place in persons who are too affected by material conditions. Arjuna envisioned only unhappiness in the battlefield. He would not be happy even by gaining victory over the foe. The word nimitta is significant. When a man sees only frustration in his expectations, he thinks, why am I here? Everyone is interested in himself and his own welfare. No one is interested in the Supreme Self. Arjuna is supposed to show this regard for self-interest by submission to the will of Krishna, who is everyone's real self-interest. The conditioned soul forgets this, and therefore suffers material pains. Arjuna thought that his victory in the battle would only be cause of lamentation for him. Hare Krishna. Okay, who wants to continue?
I will have to continue, Prabhu. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Dandastam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Yes, Prabhu.
Jai Shri Prabhupada. Text 31. Nacha Sriyo, Nacha Shriyo Nupashyami Hatva Svajanam Aveve Na Kanak She Vijayam Krishna Nacha Rajyam Shukhani Cha Na nor Cha also. Shriya good. Anupashyami do I foresee. Hatva by killing. Shvajanam own kingsman. Abhave in the fight. Ahave in the fight. Na nor. Kangshe do I desire. Vijayam victory. Krishna O Krishna. Na honor. Cha also. Rajayam kingdom. Shukhani happiness therefore. Thereof. Cha also. Translation. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kingsman in this battle, nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. Purport. Without knowing that one self-interest is in Vishnu or Krishna, conditioned souls are attracted by bodily relationship. Hoping to be happy in such situations, under delusion, they forgot that Krishna is also the cause of material happiness. Arjuna appears to have even forgotten the moral codes of a Kshatriya. For a Kshatriya, it is said that two kinds of men, namely the Kshatriya who dies directly in front of the battlefield under Krishna's personal orders, and the person in the renounced order of life who is absolutely devoted to spiritual culture, are eligible to enter into the sun globe, which is so powerful and dazzling. Arjuna is reluctant even to kill his enemies, let alone his relatives. He thought that by killing his kinsman, though there would be no happiness in this life, and therefore he was not willing to fight. Just as a person who does not feel hunger is not inclined to cook, he has now decided to go into the forest and live in a secluded life in frustration. But as a Kshatriya, he requires a kingdom for his subsistence because the Kshatriya cannot engage themselves in any other occupation. But Arjuna has had no kingdom. Arjuna's sole opportunity for gaining a kingdom lay in fighting with his cousins and brothers and reclaiming the kingdom inherited from his father, which he does not like to do. Therefore he considers himself fit to go to the forest to live a secluded life of frustration. Can I read the second verse, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu. It's a long one.
किं नो राजयेन गोविन्द किं भोगैर्जीवितेन वा येषाम् अर्थे कंशिशीतं नो रजयं भोगाः सुखानि च ता एमे वशिस्थिता युद्धे परमस्तक्त्वा ध्यानि च आचार्येया पितरः पुत्रस् तथैव च पितामहः मातुलाः श्वशूरः पौत्रः शालाः सम्बन्धिनस्तथा एतानहन्तमिच्छामि गानातोऽपि मधुसूदना. Oh. अपि त्रिलोक्या राजस्य हेतो किं न मही कृते धरस्तरनन्नः प्राप्यति सहज जनार्दन. Kim, what use? Na, to us. Rajnya is the kingdom. Govinda, O Krishna. Kim, what? Bhoge, enjoyment. Jivitena, by living. Va, either. Imsam, for whom. Arthe, for the matter of. Kangshritam, desired. Na, our. Rajam, kingdom. Bhogaha, material enjoyment. Shukhani, all happiness. Cha, also. Te, all of them. Imen, this. Avistitaha, situated. Yuddhe, in this battlefield. Punan, pranan, lives. Taktva, giving up. Dhyani, riches. Cha, also. Acharya, teachers. Pritaraha, fathers. Putraha, sons. Tatha, as well as. Eva, certainly. Cha, also. Pitamanaha, grandfathers. Matulaha, maternal uncles. Savasuraha, father-in-law. Putraha, grandsons. Shwalaha, brothers-in-law. some bandhinaha relatives, tatha as well as etan all this na never hantum for killing. Ichhami do I wish granthaha being killed, api even Madhusudana, or killer of the demon of Madhu, Krishna, api even if Trailoka of three rivers, Vishya of the kingdoms, Heto in exchange, came out to speak of Nu only, Mahakrite for the Sakte, a shake of earth, Niyakta by killing Dhar Tanarastam Tran, son of Dhritarashtra, Naha our Ka, what, Pritihi, pleasure, Shyat, will there be, Janardana, or maintainer of all living entities. Translation. O Govinda, what evil to us our kingdoms happens, happiness, or even life itself, when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed in this battlefield. O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and all relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties are, and are standing before me, then why should I wish to kill them? Though I may survive, O maintainer of all the creatures, I'm not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. Purport. Arjuna has addressed Lord Krishna as Govinda because Krishna is the object of all pleasure for cows and the senses. By using the significant word, Arjuna indicates that what will satisfy his senses. Although Govinda is not meant for satisfying our senses, if we try to satisfy the senses of Govinda, then automatically our own senses are satisfied. Materially, everyone wants to satisfy his senses, and he wants God to be the order supplier for such satisfaction. Yes, the Lord will satisfy the senses of the living entities as much as they deserve, but not to the extent that they may covet. But when one takes the opposite way, namely, when one tries to satisfy the senses of Govinda without desiring to satisfy one's own senses, then by the grace of Govinda, all desire of the living entity are satisfied. Arjuna's deep affection for community and family members is exhibited where, partly due to his natural compassion for them, he is therefore not prepared to fight. Everyone wants to show his opulence to friends and relatives, but Arjuna fears that all his relatives and friends will be killed in the battlefield, and he will be unable to share his opulence after victory. This is the typical calculation of material life. The transcendental life is, however, different. Since the devotee wants to satisfy the desire of the Lord, he can. Lord willing, accept all kinds of satisfy the desire of the Lord. He can. Lord willing, accepts all kind of opulence for the service of the Lord. And if the Lord is not willing, he should not accept a farthing. Arjuna Arjuna did not want to kill his relatives, and if there were any need to kill them, he desired that Krishna kill them personally. At this point, he did not know that Krishna had already killed them before their coming into the battlefield, and that he was only to become an instrument for Krishna. This is a fact disclosed in to retaliate against these miscreant cousins and brothers. But it was the Lord's plan that they should all be killed. The devotee of the Lord does not relate it against the wrongdoer, but the Lord does not tolerate any mischief done to the devotee by the miscreants. The Lord can excuse a person on his own account, but he excuses no one who has done harm to his devotees. Therefore, the Lord was determined to kill the miscreants, although Arjuna wanted to excuse them. Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Okay, who is next? Or is it my turn? Or whose?
Hare
Okay.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. Haribol.
Papam ivasret asman hatovitan atatayina tasman naraha bhayam hantum धृतराष्ट्रान् सवा बन्धवान् सजनं हि कथं हत्ता सुखिनः स्वयं माधव. Papam, vices, Eva certainly Ashrayat must take upon Asman Yas Hatva by killing Ethan all these Atati Yana aggressors. Tasma therefore na never araha deserving Bhayam as Hantum to kill Dhritarashtra, the sons of Dhritarashtra, Sabhavan Dhavan, along with friends, Sajanam kinsman, he certainly Katham how Hatwa by killing Sukhina happy Syam Syama be become Madhava O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune. Translation: sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of goddess of fortune, and how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen? Purport: according to Vedic injunction, there are 6 kinds of aggressors: a poison giver, one who sets fire to the house, one who attacks with deadly weapons, one who uh, plunders riches, one who occupies another's land, one who kidnaps a wife. Such aggressors are at once to be killed, and no sin is incurred by killing such aggressor. Such killing of aggressor is quite befitting for any ordinary man. But Arjuna was not an ordinary person. He was saintly by character, and therefore he wanted to deal with them in saintliness. This kind of saintliness, however, is not for a Kshatriya. Although a responsible man in the administration of a state is required to be saintly, he should not be cowardly. For example, Lord Rama was so saintly that people were anxious to leave in his kingdom, Ram Rajya. But Lord Rama never showed any cowardice. Ravan was an aggressor against Rama because he kidnapped Rama's wife, Sita. But Lord Rama gave him sufficient lessons, unparalleled in the history of the world. In Arjuna's case, however, one should consider the special type of aggressors, namely his own grandfather, own teacher, friends, sons, grandson, etc. Because of them, Arjuna thought that he should not take the severe steps necessary against ordinary aggressors. Besides that, saintly persons are advised to forgive. Such injunctions for saintly person are more important than any political emergency. Arjuna considered that rather than killing his own kinsmen for political reasons, it would be better to forgive them on grounds of religion and saintly behaviors. He did not therefore consider such killing profitable simply for the matter of temporary bodily happiness. After all, kingdoms and pleasures derived therefrom are not permanent. So why should he risk his life and eternal salvation by killing his own kinsman? Arjuna's addressing of Krishna as Madhava, or the husband of the goddess of fortune, is also significant in this connection. He wanted to point out to Krishna that as husband of the goddess of fortune, he should not have to induce Arjuna to take up a matter which would ultimately bring about misfortune. Krishna, however, never bring misfortune to anyone, to say nothing of his devotees. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Yadyapeteena pashyanti lobopahat chetasah kulakshaya kritam dosham mitre drohe cha patakam katam nagyenam asmabi papat asman nivartitum kulakshaya kritam dosham prapasyad bir janardana. Yadi, if, api, certainly, ete, they, na, do not, pasyanti, see, loba, greed, upahata, overpowered, chetasaha, the hearts, kulakshaya, in killing the family, kritam, done, dosham, fault, mitra, drohe, quarreling with friends, cha, also, patakam, sinful reactions, katam, why, na, shall not, yenam, know this, Asmabi, by us, papat, from sins, asmad, ourselves, nivartitum, to cease, kulakshaya, the destruction of a dynasty, kritam, by so doing, dosam, crime, prapasyadbi, by those who can see, janardana, O Krishna, translation, O Janardana, although this man, overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, with knowledge of the sin, engage in these acts? This Arjuna doesn't want to fight. Purport. A Kshatriya is not supposed to refuse to battle or gamble when he is so invited by some rival party. Yeah. In the group, this was talked about, this gambling and the chess. So the Kshatriya should never refuse the gamble. Under such obligation, Arjuna could not refuse to fight because he was challenged by the party of Duryodhana. In this connection, Arjuna considered that the other party might be blind to the effects of such challenge. Arjuna, however, could see the evil consequences and could not accept the challenge. Obligation is actually binding when the effect is good, but when the effect is otherwise, then no one can be bound. Yeah, this is nice point. Obligation is actually binding when the effect is good. But when the effect is otherwise, then no one can be bound. Considering all these pros and cons, Arjuna decided not to fight. Hare Krishna. Okay, who wants to continue next?
Kula keshe nashyanti kula dharma sanatanaha dharme naste kulam krityam adoramo vihibhyayukta kula keshe in destroying the family pranyashanti becoming vanquished kula dharma the family traditions sanatana eternal dharma in religion naste being destroyed kulam family kristam wholesale adharma religion abhibhavati transforms utta it is said translation with the restrictions of dynasty the eternal family tradition is vanquished and thus the rest of the families become involved in religious practices purport in the system of varnashram institution, there are many principles of religious transitions to help members of the family grow properly and attain spiritual values. The elder members are responsible for such purifying process in the family, being from birth to death. But when on the death of the elder member, such family traditions of purification may stop, and the remaining younger family members may develop religious habits and thereby lost their chance for spiritual salvation. Therefore, for no purpose should the elder members of the family be slain. Can I continue, bro?
Yes.
Thank you, bro. अधर्मो भी भवत् कृष्ण प्रद्युषन्ति कुला श्रिया श्रीषु दुस्तस्सु वर्णस्य जयते वर्णसंकरः adharma is religious abhibhavat having been predominant. Krishna, pradyum, pradyusyanti, becoming polluted. Kula, shreya, family ladies, shreyasu of the womanhood, duswa, dussu, being so polluted. Varnes, Varsneya, okay. Oh, descendant of Varishni, Jayate, it so becomes Varana Sankaraha, unwanted progeny. Translation: when religion is prominent in the family, curbed, and from the degradation of womanhood, O descendant of Vrishni, becomes unwanted progeny. Purport. Good population in human society is the basic principle for peace, prosperity, and spiritual progress in life. The Varnashram religious principles were so designed that the good population would um, prevail in society for the religious, spiritual progress of the state and community. Such population depends on the chastity and faithfulness of its womanhood. As children are very prone to be misled, human are similarly very prone to degradation. Therefore, both child and women require protection by the elder members of the family. By being engaged in various religious practices, women will not be misled into adultery. According to Chanakya Pandit, women are generally not very intelligent and therefore not trustworthy. So the different family traditions of religious activities should always engage them, and those their chastity and devotion will give birth to a good population eligible for participating in the varnashram system. On the failure of such varnashram dharma, naturally the women become free to act and mix with men, and those adultery is included in at the risk of unwanted population. In the irresponsible men also provoke adultery in society, and those unwanted children um, floor the human race at the risk of war and pestilence. pestilence. Next, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Who wants to be next? Vishnu Prabhu can
Vishnu Prabhu.
also.
Yes,
Haribol. Thank you, Prabhu.
Text 41. शङ्करो नरकायैव कुलज्ञानां कुलस्य च पतन्ति पितरो हि येषां लुप्तपिण्डोदकक्रिया. Shankara. Yes. Sankara, such unwanted children, Narakaya, for hellish life, Eva, certainly, Kula Gnanana, of those who are killers of the family, Kulasya, of the family, Cha, also, Padanti, fall down, Pitara, forefathers, He, certainly, Esham, of them, Lupta, stopped, Pinda, offerings, Udaka, water, Kriya, performance. Translation. When there is increase of unwanted population, a hellish situation is created both for the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. In such corrupt families, there is no offering of oblations of food and water to the ancestors. Purport. According to the rules and regulations of fruitive activities, there is a need to offer periodical food and water to the forefathers of the family. This offering is performed by worship of Vishnu, because eating the remnants of food offered to Vishnu can deliver one from all kinds of sinful actions. Sometimes the forefathers may be suffering from various types of sinful reactions, and sometimes some of them cannot even acquire a gross material body and are forced to remain in subtle bodies as ghosts. Thus, when remnants of prasadam food are offered forefathers by descendants, the forefathers are released from ghostly or other kinds of miserable life. Such help rendered to forefathers is a family tradition, and those who are not in devotional life are required to perform such rituals. One who is engaged in devotional life is not required to perform such actions. Simply by performing devotional service, one can deliver hundreds and thousands of forefathers from all kinds of misery. It is stated in the Bhagavatam, Devarshi Bhutapta Nrinam Pitranam Na Kingaro Nayam Rini Cha Rajan Sarvatmana Ya Sharanam Sharanyam Gado Mugundam Parihritya Kartam. Anyone who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of Mukunda, the giver of liberation, giving up all kinds of obligation, and has taken to the path in all seriousness, owes neither duties nor obligations to the demigods. sages, general living entities, family members, humankind, or forefathers. Such obligations are automatically fulfilled by performance of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Should I continue, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhu.
Text 42. Doshe rede kula jnananam varna shankara. Hare Krishna. दोषे रेदे कुलज्ञानानां वर्णशङ्करकारके उत्साद्यन्ते जातिधर्मा कुलधर्माश्च शाश्वता. Doshe, by such faults, ede all these kulajnananam of the destroyer of a family, varna sangara unwanted children, karake by the doers, utsadyante causes devastation, jati dharma community project, kula dharma family tradition, cha also shashwata eternal. Translation. Due to the evil deeds of the destroyers of family tradition, all kinds of community projects and family welfare activities are devastated. Purport. The four orders of human society, combined with family welfare activities as they are set forth by the institution of the Sanatana Dharma or Varnasrama Dharma, are designed to enable the human being to attain his ultimate salvation. Therefore, the breaking of the Sanatana Dharma tradition by irresponsible leaders of society brings about chaos in that society, and consequently, people forget the aim of life, Vishnu. Such leaders are called blind, and persons who follow such leaders are sure to be led into chaos. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. उत्सान्नः कुलधर्माणां मनुष्याणां जनार्दन नरके नियतं वसो भवति भवत्यनुशुश्रूषम्. Utsana spoiled Kula Dharmanam of those who have the family traditions. Manushyanam of such a man, Janardana, O Krishna, Narake, in hell. Niyatam always Vasaha residence, Bhavati, it so become Anushushrama. I have heard by disciple succession. Translation. O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard by disciplic succession who that those who destroy family tradition dwell always in hell. But Arjun bases his argument not on his own personal experience but on what he has heard from the authorities. That is the way of receiving real knowledge. One cannot reach the real point of factual knowledge without being held by the right person who is already established in that knowledge. There is a system in the Varnashram institution by which one has to undergo the process of ablution before death for his sinful activities. One who is always engaged in sinful activities must utilize the process of ablution called the Prayaschita. Without doing so, one surely will transfer into hellish planets to undergo miserable lives as the result of sinful activities. अहो वत् महत् पापं क्रतुवया वसितायं यद् राज्य सुखाल्लभेन लभेन हन्तुं स्वजनं धयता. Aha, alas, bata, how strange it is, mahat, great, papam, sin, kratum, to perform, vyavasthita, decide, vayam, we, yet so that Rajya kingdom, Sukha Lobhena, driven by greed for royal happiness, Hantum to kill, Swajanam, kinsmen, Udyataha, trying for translation, Alas. Alas, how strange is that we are praying to commit greatly sinful act driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness. Purport. Driven by selfish motives, one may be inclined to such sinful acts as the killing of one's own brother, father, or mother. There are many such instances in the history of the world. But Arjuna, being a saintly devotee of the Lord, is always conscious of moral principle and therefore takes care to avoid such activities. Yadi yadi mam apratikaram asatram sastrapanaaya धृतस्त्रारणे अन्यायस्तन्मे क्षेमात्रं भवेत्. Yadi evam mam into me aprakritam without being resistant, asatram without being fully occupied, shastra pannaya those with weapons in hand. Dhritarashtra, the son of Dhritarashtra, ran in the battlefield. Hanyu, may kill tat that me, mine, Shemantram better bhavet become. Translation: I would consider it better for the son of Dhritarashtra to kill me unarmed and unresisting rather than fight with them. But it is then custom according to Kshatriya fighting principle that an unarmed and unwilling foe should not be attacked. Arjuna, however, in such an enigmatic position, decided he would not fight if he were attacked by the enemy. He did not he did not consider how much the other party was bent upon fighting. All these symptoms are due to softness resulting from his being a great devotee of the Lord. Okay, bro.
Hare Krishna. Okay, one more verse.
Can I read, Prabhu? Hari
Yes,
bol.
Prabhu. Yes, let's uh 1 second. Let's see how. Oh yeah, it's the last one. So let's finish this one. You can read it, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Text 46. Sanjay Uvacha Evam Muktavarjunah Shankhe Rathopashtha Upavishat Vishrajaya Sasharam Chapam Shokashim Vigna Manashaha. Sanjaya Uvacha said, Evam thus, Uktva saying, Arjuna, Shankhe in the battlefield, Ratha, the chariot, Upasthatha, situated on, Upavisat, sat down again, Vishrajya keeping aside, Shasharam along with arrows, Chapam the bow, Shoka, lamentation, Shva Vigna, distress, Manasa, within the mind. Translation. Sanjay said, Arjuna having thus spoken on the battlefield, let's zoom it. No, don't zoom it, Prabhu. Yes, okay. Sanjay said, Arjuna, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. Purport. While observing the situation of his enemy, Arjuna stood up on the chariot, but he was so afflicted with lamentation that he sat down again. Setting aside his bow and arrows, such a kind and soft hearted person, in the devotional service of the Lord, is fit to receive self knowledge. Hari bol.
Hare Bol. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports to the first chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of observing the armies of the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And yes, now Arjuna is sitting on the chariot and he's all lamenting. He doesn't have his bow in his hand anymore.
Now the real magic will happen. Krishna will speak the Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, tomorrow we start from this amazing chapter. Contents of the Gita summarized. Bol. Okay, now let's go to Sixastakam pairs. चेतो दर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयः कैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावादुजीवनम् आनन्दं बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतस्वादनं सर्वात्मा स्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम्
नाम्नामकारी बहुधा सर्वशक्तिः तत्रार्पिता नियमितः स्मरणेन कालः एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन्नमापि दुर्दैव मे दृश्यमे न जनेन अनुरागः
तृणादपि पुण्येन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना अमानिना मानदेन कीर्तनीया सदा हरिः
नदनं सुन्दरीं कवितं वा जगदीश रामये मम जन्मनीश्वरे भगवद्भक्तिरहैतुकीर्तये
आनन्दन तनुजा किङ्करं पतितां वाम विश्वा भावबुधौ कृपया तावा पदपङ्कजा स्थिता धूलिसदृशं विचिन्तया
नयनं गलतश्रुधारया पतनं गद्गदरुदया गिरा पुलकर्निशितं वपुः कदा तव नाम गृहणे भविष्यति
युगायितं
युगात्मं
निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्रविश्यायिदां शून्यायिदां जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविरहेण मे
आशिलस्य वा पादतां रतन् विनष्टु माम् अदर्शनां न महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनतस्तु स एव नापरः।
Glory to the Sikh, glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. The Sankirtana movement is a prime benediction of humanity for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is a life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
O my Lord, your
Oh
holy
my
name
Lord,
alone.
you are holy.
Yes, Prabhu, you can continue. Hare Krishna.
Continue, Hare Krishna.
Okay, Prabhu. O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benedictions to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all senses of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth.
O son of Maharaj Nanda, Krishna, I have submitted. I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from the ocean of death, and place me as one of the items at your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
O Govinda, feeling your expression, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna is my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handle me roughly by his embrace or make me broken hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally.
हरि बोल श्री शिक्षाष्टकम की जाय हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जाय पंचतत्व की
Jai,
जाय नित्यानंद प्रभु की जाय श्री कृष्ण
Jai.
चैतन्य
Jai,
महाप्रभु
Jai.
की जाय जगत गुरु चिला भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी चिला प्रभुपद की जाय निताय गौर
Jai.
प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि
Hari,
बोल
Hari.
Jai.